Hello everyone and welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today we're taking a look at another knife from France, and this is one from Cognet, and this is the Petit Douk Douk folder. Now I really apologise if I've absolutely butchered that pronunciation. I'm terrible with it, but we're just going to call it the Douk Douk. Before we go any further though, I'm going to give a big shout out to Steph over at Knives of France. He's kindly provided me with a discount code for my subs. So the discount code is Sawyer, and you can get 10% off if you spend over $50, and they do send worldwide as well. So make sure you're checking them out. Really great company, and the guy there is so fantastic to deal with. But let's get into it. So the Douk Douk then, it's a very slender, slim design. Honestly, this would be a fantastic little gentleman's carry. It'll slip in your pocket without any problems at all. Now, it's originally created back in 1929, so a couple more years' time, this will be coming up to its 100th anniversary. And does it look like it's 100 years old as a design? Definitely not. I think it's fantastic. It still has that modern look to it, with it being all sleek, slender, blacked out handle. I'm a big fan, I'm going to say, and this is all Elan's fault. So Elan, if you see this, this is all your fault. He did gift me the Douk Douk squirrel for my birthday this year, and I love this thing. I've carried it a lot, I've used it, and you can see the patinas on the blade. I think it's fantastic. So Elan, this is all your fault why I'm now into these, so thank you very much for that. But anyway, on with this. The black handle is actually a ferro coated black steel, neatly folded around the knife. We have an internal back spring, so you don't see that on any other part of the knife apart from you can see it on the base and at the top here. We have an XC75 carbon steel blade, and it's a Turkish style clip, you know, that really upswept twice on there. I think it looks absolutely fantastic with this laser etching on there as well. Douk Douk and this sort of exotic swirls. And you can see we have France on that laser etching as well to let you know this is made in France. Close length then, without the bail, we are looking at 1, 2, 3, nearly 3.5. With the bail, if you want to include that in the close length, we're at 1, 2, 3, 3.75 inches closed. Bail is nice and free moving as well, so I tend to, when I'm carrying this one, I tend to push the bail around the back, because I'm not a big fan of using it with this. I prefer when it's blacked out, you know, the bail's blacked out as well. I love just tucking it out the way, it gives it that nice sort of slender look. Blade centering on this is absolutely bang down the middle. We have the famous stamp on the front of the Douk Douk, and that is the God of Doom and Chaos. And he looks like a cute little guy, so I don't know why they call him the God of Doom and Chaos. I know there's a long story behind it. I won't go on into that, but I'll be going on for hours about it. But you should really look up the story behind why this is on here. It's absolutely fantastic story. Let's take a look at the blade. So we have a tip to tang of 1 to 2.9, so very close to that 3-inch length for the UK, and a cutting edge of 1 to 2.6 inches there, right about. Now this is a very slicey blade, being carbon steel. The edge behind it is very minimal. You can see I have used this thing, it's all scratched up. All I've had to do is strop it, and it's ridiculous how slicey carbon steel can be, especially when it's in such a thin profile. Like, it's ridiculously slicey. Gliding through paper like it is butter, but it didn't need any touching up out of the packaging at all. I just went to work with it straight away and it was that slicey. So they are fantastic for the money you pay for them. Now, they are a little bit more expensive than they were a couple of years ago. Picked one of these up on the secondary market for £15, and they're currently on Heine Haynes for about £30, and they're currently $33 on Knives of France. Of course, if you order that in, there will be shipping on top of that as well. So unless you're putting a big order in, I would say it's probably easy to pick it up in the UK. Nothing on the back then. You can see where I've used it and dropped it multiple times using it. I've got it all scratched up. But I love that about the knife. I love it when it takes a characteristic. We have a half stop and a really nice walk and talk on this. Listen to the snap on this. We're at about 6.5, pull there. Absolutely fantastic for a work knife. I can get a full 4-finger grip on this, and with that half stop and your fingers up there, it's never ever going to cut you if it tries to close on you. It's impossible because your fingers are right up on this upswept bit. When it closes, it stops there. I mean, you're only going to cut yourself if you're doing something really stupid with it. Maybe if you're cutting back here and it closes like that, but no one's going to be holding the knife like that. These knives I tend to find the most comfortable in the pinch grip like this, so you can have your finger just underneath because it's such a thin handle, really lightweight as well. Perfect for everyday use, to be honest. And that's not something I would normally say about a folded metal handle knife. I've had a couple of the more modern ones. I think it's called the Boca Atlas. I think I had it a few years back, and I really didn't get on with the folded metal handle. But compared to the Douk Douk, and then you can see that it swells out in the middle here, and honestly, it makes it a much more comfortable in the hand. Now, is it the most comfortable knife you're ever going to use? No, not by a long shot, but it's not trying to be that. It's just a simple, everyday use knife for the working man, really. Pin construction then, looks like we've got steel pins, top and bottom. No stop pin or anything like that. We've got enough of a kick here to stop any blade wrap. I have opened and closed this a few times, and I've not seen any sort of marks on the blade. But I can't highly recommend these enough. They're absolutely fantastic knives. And I can see this being another rabbit hole I'm going to get sucked into. Honestly, just go pick one up. They're not expensive. They're sub £30 for most of these. You get carbon steel, flawless fit and finish. There's not much to go wrong, to be honest. But even this one, blade centering pretty much dead on. Identical pull to the other one. They just seem to have nailed down their quality control with what they can produce. So there's the Cognet Douk Douk. Apologies if I butchered that name again. Model number for that is the 815PM. So that's the Douk Douk Petite, as in petite meaning small. I can't get over this etch. I think it's fantastic. But really hope you enjoyed this review, guys. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.